What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 1, Episode 7. So, we are back from the wedding, honey, and it is back to business. So, let's talk about a few things. First of all, let me say this to y'all, to the producers, to other YouTubers. I'm confused as hell. Let me tell you why I'm confused. At the beginning of this season, I got the impression, and if the impression was given to us, that Melody and Martell play perfect couple in public, and that there were rumors about Martell stepping out, but nobody knew for sure whether those rumors were true, and they just play like everything is all good and perfect. But what we're seeing these last couple of episodes is shit was deep, and people knew, and their business was out there. And I'm confused. We're going to get there. So we see Kimmy and Maurice opening up their wedding gifts, and they got some lovebirds from Melody and Martell. And they acting like they ain't like them lovebirds. Let me tell y'all something. My grandparents had lovebirds, right? And when I tell you that my mama claimed them lovebirds, and she would have cut somebody if they tried to take them lovebirds. Like, she knew she couldn't get them until my grandparents were gone. But when I tell you she claimed them lovebirds, so that's all I kept thinking about when they were laughing at. First of all, I thought I thought it was pretty. They didn't seem to be impressed by it, but I thought they were pretty. And then I just remember how my mama was pressed for them lovebirds. Them lovebirds sitting in my mama's china cabinet right now. She got her lovebirds. Now, my grandmother gave them to her before she passed away. She ain't had to wait till my grandmama died, but she got her lovebirds. Now, so anyway, that was just a little cute little. Kimmy was saying how she didn't think she would feel any different because, hey, we've been together for so long. I didn't think it would feel any different. She was like, but I do. And so, they cute. It's good. I'm happy for them. Marcel and Letitia. Marcel and Letitia are back. Marcel want dinner. Letitia was like, I know you do not expect me to go in that kitchen and cook after we just got home from a 7-day vacation. Like, we need to order some pizza. We need to get some up in here or something. And Marcel was really giving her that look like, for real? You're not going to cook? Marcel, look, I like you most of the time, Marcel, but that was one of them times where I wanted to yank your ass up because I felt like you was dead serious. But I don't know because you got one of them sense of humors. But I feel like you really thought she was going to cook something. Anyway, so he starts talking about how he felt like Letitia's mom was out of pocket. Oh, did I mention that Letitia's mom, Miss Wanda, gave Kimmy a dominatrix outfit as her wedding gift? Honey, Miss Wanda is a trip. Anyway, so Marcel was like, look, I feel like your mother was a little out of pocket. Like, I really feel like she came at me sideways. And had that not been my brother's wedding, I really felt like I would have had to say something to her. Now, mother-in-law situations are always tricky, right? I don't know if Miss Wanda was doing it up for the camera or if that's just how Miss Wanda rolled. It sounds like when you hear the comments that Melody makes and Kimmy makes, it sounds like that's how Miss Wanda rolled. Now, maybe she was giving a little something extra for the camera, but I really feel like that's who Miss Wanda is, and she probably would have been carrying it like that had it not been a camera. She might have gave a little extra neck roll, but Marceau had his damn ring on. And she said he had his ring on since that night, so I mean, you might not appreciate how she came at you, but it worked. You put that ring back on your ass. And he really was kind of telling Letitia, look, I feel like you need to you should have checked your mom. Like, I feel like you should have said something to your mother. And that's always tricky, because at the end of the day, it's still your mom. Like, yeah, that's your husband, and it is what it is, but it's still your mom. And it's a weird situation to be in. But Letitia threw some stuff in the sauce, because she was like, well, I mean, that's a little interesting, because actually I was going to ask you how you felt about my mom moving in with us because I'm really serious about going back to work. And mom is going to be here to help pick up the slack for when I'm not here with the kids. Y'all know Marcel wasn't hearing that. Marcel was like, oh, that's not going to happen. She was like, why? He was like, because you're not going to pass off your motherly duties to somebody else. She was like, why not? It's my mom. He was like, well, I would have to change my whole lifestyle. She was like, why? I'm not asking you to do anything different. I'm taking care of the slack. I'm taking care of where I won't be there for the kids because I'm at work. It don't affect you at all. And I feel like that was Tisha's way of, because she knew that was where he was going to come, so she cut off the argument before it even started. Like, you have no comeback. No comeback, no pun intended. You have no comeback for that, because what you going to say now? Because I got my mama coming to pick up the slack. Now, the problem is him and your mama don't get along, so that probably ain't the best solution. But I see where she's coming from. So he was like, look, what's good? Like, what is the problem? And she was like, I want to go back to work. And what I don't want to do is wake up 10 years, 20 years, maybe even 5 years down the line and regret that I didn't do this. This is what I need to do for myself. I worked really hard to get the credentials to be able to get into real estate. It's going to tie perfectly into the company we already have. And I just don't, this is what I want to do. And he was like, well, I feel like you're going to regret more that you weren't there for your kids. Says the man who don't know his son got a peanut allergy, which I think he knew. I think he was. I don't believe he didn't know his son had a peanut allergy. I don't believe that. But let's just go along with it. Says the person who don't know his son got a peanut allergy. She gonna regret not being there for her kids. Come on, Marcel. But again, I said it before. I'll say it again. I understand that they had a plan, but at the end of the day, too, you can't put a price on being fulfilled. You can't put a price on happiness. And just because somebody wants to work out the home does not mean that they're not happy that they're a mother or they're not happy that they're a wife. It just means that they want something else in their life, that they want to add something else to that fulfillment. So, I don't know, y'all. I feel like Marcel feels the way he feels, but I definitely understand where Letitia is coming from. Y'all know Tisha be getting on my nerves sometimes, but in this one, I understand where she's coming from, because what she thought she would have been okay with 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, she's realizing, I thought I would be okay with this, but I'm not. And this is what's going to make me happy. And as my husband, I need you to support me. And I know how you feel about strangers raising our children. So I'm taking care of that too. I'm bringing somebody else in who's not a stranger. Now, again, them getting along, that's a whole nother conversation. But, I feel like Letitia's doing everything to try to make Marcel comfortable with this decision. All right. Then we see Melody talking to her mom. Her mom watched the kids while they were in Miami. And she basically is telling her mom, look, we're not good. And I thought I could accept. I thought we were working towards it. I thought we were moving to a better place. But the wedding just stirred everything up. And it just reminded me really how unhappy I am. And I saw a lot of comments and a lot of people saying that her having that conversation at the wedding wasn't appropriate. But I said it in my review, and she sort of confirmed it. It wasn't planned, but when you're sitting there, when your marriage is falling apart, and you're sitting there watching other people commit themselves, and you remember your wedding day, and all of those promises, and how you felt then, and it just takes you, I'm sure it took everything in Melody to keep a smile on her face and be happy for Kimmy and Maurice. Not because she wasn't happy for them as her friends, but because when your life is falling apart, it is so hard sometimes to be happy for other people. And not only did she have to put up a brave front, but it's also for the show too. Let's not forget that the show was there and the cameras are there. And so I understood it last week, and I understand it now. I don't know, it wasn't necessarily the most opportune moment for her to have that conversation with Martell, but at the same time, you sitting there watching people having the time of their life, and you are sitting in misery. And I guess she just had some stuff she had to get off her chest, and she just had to talk to Martell and let him know how she felt. Like, she just... So, anyway, so that's basically what she's telling her mom. And her mom is like, look, and her mom sound like me, because I've had some friends come to me about a whole lot of stuff and they private lives. And my thing is, I ain't gonna never tell nobody to get a divorce, because that is not my decision to make. You know, and that's what she said to her. She was like, I'm never going to tell somebody to leave their marriage or stay in their marriage. She was like, but you have to do what makes you happy. And understand that whatever decision you make, I support you. And I said, that's probably the best thing her mom could have said to her. Whatever decision you make, I support you. Because I can't tell you to leave that man. I can't tell you to stay with that man. But whatever you do, I got you. As your mom, got your back. And so it was a good conversation. And she said, well, what his mama saying? And she was like, well, his mother's basically like, boys will be boys. You know, she been through infidelity and all of that. And Melody's mom was like, yeah. So, and plus remember, Melody didn't tell Martell's mom the whole story. She hinted at it, but she didn't tell Martell the whole story. So I thought that was very interesting too. So, that was a good conversation. I thought it was a really, and I like Melody's mom. I really do. I like her. She's pretty too. So then we see little Miss Letitia Scott going on her job interview, honey. Now she walked in that lobby and they had one of those the TV screens where you could program stuff on it, and it said, "Welcome Letitia to blah 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 Realty." I said, that is so cute. Now, if I showed up for a job interview and my name was like, welcome so-and-so, that sounds like you already got the job, right? Because if they do all of that and then they'll offer you the job, that's a little disappointing. Because I'd be like, oh, I got this. Shoot. But it was cute that they did that. I'm sure that was a little added little touch they put in there, you know. And Letitia's interviewing now. Look, Letitia started off real slow because she was saying all the wrong things. And she even said it. She said, look, my interview skills are rusty. I ain't been on an interview in about 6 years. You know, they real rusty. But you don't never tell somebody that's interviewing you that you going back full-time, part-time. You don't never tell somebody that's interviewing you that you have a set schedule and that you work by a schedule. Not in the field of real estate. And like she gave her the example, she was like, well, what happens if a property is available and the client calls you, but it's not part of your schedule for the day? Like, how are you going to handle that? But Letitia warmed up and she started saying all the right things. She said, look, I got my MBA while I was a stay-at-home mom. I can make it work. I know how to prioritize. I know how to juggle. I know how. Because then the lady, she asked her about, I guess, childcare. And she hesitated on that. Girl, why you ain't say, well, my mother's going to take care of the kids. My mom's stepping in to help out. Whether Marceau agree with it or not, girl, you better let her know what your plan is. But she warmed up, and by the end, she was knocking them out. And again, but she did well, and they ended up offering her the job. We'll get there, honey. We will get there. Because she ended up offering her the job. I think next week we're going to see how that conversation goes down, where she kind of talks to Marceau about her being offered the job, and she was giving Marceau, y'all know Marceau ain't having that. Next week is the season finale. Now, look, I get it that y'all might not have known, how this show was going to be, whether it was going to be a hit or not. But I need y'all to get back to taping ASAP. I need some more episodes. This was good. We need y'all to, let me see, what's this? It's February. We need a summer season. Okay? We need y'all to be ready with some new episodes by July-ish. Okay? Y'all could be, yeah, that's what we need. Okay. Carlos, make it happen. So, we see Kimmy, and this is where I started getting confused, okay? This is where my confusion started. We see Kimmy and Melody sitting down for dinner, drinks, or what have you, and they're having a good conversation. And Kimmy said, things went really well in Miami, and I want to build on that. I like where me and Melody are right now, and I want to build on that friendship and let it grow and explore and take us to that next place. And Melody said pretty much the same thing, like, hey, we're in a happy place, and I want to continue to build on that. And so they had a really good conversation, and then Melody just starts opening, like, spilling her gut about her and Martell are just not, because Kimmy said, where'd y'all go? Somewhere in the middle of the wedding reception, y'all disappeared. She was like, what's up, girl? And she said, well, me and Martell had to go have a conversation, about his infidelity. And Kimmy was like, so while we was downstairs twerking, y'all was upstairs talking about divorce? That's what was going on? She was like, in the middle of the wedding? But again, y'all, when it hits you, it hits you. So Melody starts spilling her guts about the infidelity and, talking about they not in a good place. And, honey, okay, so look, y'all. We're finding out more and more about this affair. We found out a lot last week about Melody confronting this woman, about this woman disrespecting Melody, talking about, I ain't call your phone, put your husband on the phone. See, that would have been the end of all of that right there, because they probably would have been able to show a mugshot at that moment, because I probably would have went and commenced to whooping somebody's tail. I don't know whose tail it would have been. I don't know if it would have been Martell's butt or it would have been the mistress's butt, but somebody was going to get it that night. I probably would have had a mugshot at that moment. They'd have been able to do a split screen while I was talking. But Melody got more class than that. She classy, okay? She did go confront the woman, but it didn't get physical, I guess. Then we found out that their affair didn't last 1 year, but 2 years. 1 year was bad enough, but 2, bruh. Now we find out that in the last year or 6 months or whatever, she done caught this woman talking, or caught Martell talking to this woman on 4 separate occasions. No wonder you don't trust him to go to the gym at night. No wonder you don't trust him when he don't pick up the phone when you call. No wonder you don't trust that he's not doing what he says he's doing when he says he's doing it. And what I'm going to have to say about that is, y'all need some professional assistance, some counseling, some something. Because there's no trust there. There's no trust there. Then Melody says something about Kimmy not reaching out to her, and how, well, if you knew I was going through all of that, I really would have appreciated you coming and checking on me. And what I appreciate about Melody and Kimmy is that they say what they mean and they mean what they say. And Kimmy was like, well, actually I did. I sent you a text saying, hey, sorry to hear what you're going through, but if you need me, I got you. And Melody was like, well, a text is nice, but I feel like that was more of a call situation. And Kimmy said, and I 100% understand where Kimmy is coming from. She said, look, I didn't want to be fake. I didn't want to call you, and it seemed like the only reason why I was calling you was because there was some drama going on, or for you to feel like I was trying to get in your business. So, I hear what you're saying, and, I respect that, but that's a touchy thing, and I understand that. You hear some rumors in the streets about somebody that you cool with, but you ain't best friends with, and it's kind of hard to call somebody and be like, girl, I heard your man cheating on you. If you need me, I'm here, girl. Or even if you want to be cryptic about it and say, look, I know you going through something, girl. You want to go out for drinks? Because it could easily be misconstrued as she just trying to be messy, or she just trying to get in my business. So I definitely see y'all. Here I go talking too much again, because we ain't even got to the damn comeback group, but it's 18 minutes in. Let me hurry up. But anyway, I understood where that went, but they clinked glasses. They did a little some toast to their friendship. Everything was good. All right. The comeback group. Y'all. So we see Melody and Martell talking to their finance guy. They're waiting to hear about the loan. Come to find out, the finance guy was like, look, I can't make these numbers work. He said, with the 4 of you on the loan. And Melody was like, 4? It's supposed to be 6. Finance guy was like, well, no, I have you and Martell, Holt and Hope. I have Kimmy under their company's name. And then I have Letitia under Infinity Group. Melody was like, excuse me? She said, I'm not understanding why all 6 of us are not on this loan. Because if 6 of us are on the loan with all of our incomes being counted, this should be a no-brainer. The numbers should work. But now I understand why the numbers aren't working, because if it's only 4 of us on the loan rather than 6 of us on the loan, I guess the income, because he said Kimmy and Maurice's company is really new, so it's really not a whole lot there. Rather than taking their individual income from what they were doing, I guess, outside of that company or whatever. So, with that being said, the finance guy was like, I can't really make this work the way things are right now. Y'all might need to go sit down and revamp some things, you know, play around with some decimal points and some commas, but I can't make this work right now. So, then they were having a meeting with the architect, and the architect says, well, you know, right, and they were like, they, you know, explain the financing situation and say, look, I can't really tell y'all to start working or really commission anything because we haven't even secured the loan for the property yet. So the architect and the subcontractor, the architect was like, look, with the way things are going, we're in a business, we're in a land boom right now, the real estate boom. It's a lot of money out there. It's a lot of projects out there. Y'all gonna miss out if this, basically she was like, I'm not gonna stop taking appointments. Like, while y'all figure this out, I'm gonna keep it moving, which I can respect. Now, the subcontractor was like, look, because of our relationship with all these other projects we've worked on together and on the strength of y'all reputation, I'm going to hold off for a minute. I can't hold off permanently, but I'm going to give y'all a minute to get this figured out before I start accepting other projects. But at the end of the day, you can't stop nobody money. And they understood that. So they have an emergency comeback meeting. Ooh, honey. Now, let me be honest. I'm just going to go on and put my business out there and let y'all know. Real estate and all this stuff, this ain't my ministry. But from my understanding, in the articles of incorporation or the articles that set up the business, it's clear in the articles that they're not using their individual income. They're using their business entity. And Letitia's business entity is Infinity Realty, which she owns 85% and Marceau only owns 15%, and she's primary, so that's why her name was the only name on that loan under Infinity. Letitia and Maurice is the same thing. I mean, Kimmy and Maurice is the same thing. Everything is however they did it, everything is under Kimmy, and she's primary. And so when it came time for the paperwork to go in, that's why the paperwork went in the way it went in. And like, you know, Maurice said, hey, had you read the articles of incorporation that we told y'all to read, you would understand that. Melody was like, hold up, first of all, I get it. I know that's what I understand how the articles were written. However, I didn't realize that all of our incomes would not be taken into consideration, because Marceau has a separate, his contracting company is totally separate. It's under a different umbrella than Infinity, if I'm correct. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Marceau, whoever, drop down in the comments and correct me if I'm wrong. But that's my understanding. So that's why the income that he brings in under his contracting business is not under Infinity. That's something totally different. And so Kimmy was like, look, it shouldn't be no surprise to you that this is how it went down, because this is what we said. Like, we didn't try to hide nothing from you. We didn't try to pull no wool over your eyes. We told y'all what the deal was. So Melody's not backing down. Melody is like, well, look, I don't like it. I feel like we're putting in way more than what y'all are putting in, because both of us are counted versus just one of the other couples, you know, and so we're putting in more. We got more on the line than y'all, and I don't like it, and I feel like we need to just dissolve it. We need to just let this whole comeback group thing go. And Kimmy was like, because she said something about she was going to pay for the appraisal out of her own pocket, and Kimmy was like, see, here we go again. You can't do that. Under the articles, we specifically worded things a certain way in the article, so you can't do that. You can't just take it upon yourself to do certain things and spend certain monies so that now you have leverage over us, because you can say, well, I paid for the approval out of host piece. She was like, no. I mean, appraisal, excuse me. So then Melody really got mad and was like, well, I tell you what. You ain't got to worry about me buying nothing, paying for nothing. We can just go on and end this right now. And so the rest of them were like, hold up. Now you're just being extra. Like, you going from 0 to 100. Ain't nobody said let's end it. We just said let's come to a better understanding of what exactly we said under the articles, because clearly everybody didn't read them or everybody doesn't have the same understanding. Melody said, well, look, let's just take it to a vote. All those who think we should resolve the comeback group, raise your hand. Melody, the only one raising her hand. All those who think we should stay with the comeback group, raise your hand. Everybody raise their hand except for Martell. So Melody looks to Martell and she's like, what you gonna do, Martell? Like, you with me or you with them? Martell was like, well, I'm on the fence. Melody was like, She said, you was all Billy Badass before they walked in the door, and now all of a sudden you on the fence. Honey, Melody got up and walked up out that thing, and Letitia said, look, if this how we gonna handle it, I'm out too. Here go Marceau dumbass. He gonna say, don't y'all walk out there together. Ain't nobody got time to break up no fights. I said, he's so silly. But Letitia was about to get bucked for a minute. Marceau had to be like, ho, chill out. Stop it. Stop it. Because, you know, and Letitia was making a valid point. She was like, see, this is the problem. Every time there's a conflict, you start throwing little jabs. And Melody does. She be throwing them jabs. And Letitia was like, I'm not getting ready to sit here and do that. You're not going to talk to me crazy. And Marceau had to be like, hold up, just chill out. He was like, I'm serious. Stop it. Because, see, it was about to go way left. But that was funny when he talking about something. Ain't nobody got time to break up no fights. So that's kind of how that meeting ended. So the next thing we see, and I'm going to make this quick. The next thing we see Martell on his way to a flag football game with the guys or whatever. Melody's on the phone with him, and she basically laying him out. She was like, you know, I really don't appreciate the fact that you didn't have my back. Like, before they walked up in there, we said one thing, we felt one way, and the minute, you know, they coming in, now all of a sudden you got a different comment. You know, now you don't know, you on the fence. He said, well, Melody, I did feel a certain way before I heard their side of the story. AKA, I felt that way until I realized that shit was in the articles of corporation one way, and we didn't know it, or we weren't acting like we knew it. That's basically what that was. Once he heard how it was written, it was like, oh shit. Like, we didn't read it. Oops. And so Melody told him, she was like, well, I hope you don't break no leg or nothing. And she was mad. She hung up on him, honey. So he has the son with him. He ends up getting hurt. He pulls his Achilles, which I ain't got time to tell that story because it's already running late. But, honey, I pulled my kid. I was dropping the load on a cruise, and, you know, I heard something go pop. I know how you feel, boo. I heard something go pop, and it ain't fun. Anyway, but he ends up having to have surgery. I didn't have to have surgery, but it certainly wasn't fun. So he calls Melody to come and get the son because he was like, I think I might have to, you know, my it's hurt really bad. I guess he was saying he was going to have to go to urgent care, go to the hospital or whatever. So he called Melody to come and get him. Honey, Melody was so inconvenienced by the whole thing because she's still irritated. And she was like, well, what is wrong with you? Well, this the last thing we need is for you to be hurt. Who going to take care of you? And here go Marceau. He got a wife. Well, that one I agree with you, Marceau. Like, why you asking who gonna take care of you? Boo. That's sickness and in health. Sickness and in health. You gonna take care of him. Now, right now, you mad at him, and I get it. But they practically carrying this man to the car. Melody gets in the car talking about some, all right, well, me and what they call his son? Monster is what's the face son? What's his son name? What they call him? Anyway, I don't remember now. But she said, we going home. Y'all, you let me know how that work out. And when she pulled off, Maurice and Marceau was like, damn. Like, she just gonna leave him. She don't know if he alright. She don't know if he going to the hospital. What hospital he go. Like, and you know, of course, Maurice was like, I can't imagine Kimmy would have left me like that. Kimmy wouldn't have left you like that. And Letitia wouldn't have left Marceau like that. And Melody wouldn't have left him like that if his ass wasn't cheating on her and she wasn't mad at him. You know what I'm saying? But she was mad. She was in her feelings. But, honey, as soon as Melody pulled off, here go damn Martell. Can somebody go get my other phone? All of them were like, Maurice and Marceau were like, what? Who has a second phone? He was talking about something, that's my business phone. Marceau was like, I don't have that number. We do business. Marceau ass funny. He was like, he said, does Melody have a second? She got a business phone too? Maurice walking off laughing, talking about something. He said a business phone. Like, it was so ridiculous. And like Marceau said, this is not a man who's acting like, he's like, yo, He's not acting like he's want this to work. He got 1 foot in, 1 foot out of his marriage. Like, his wife is 1 foot out the door. She just left your ass. You can't even walk. And she left you standing there and was like, I see you at home. Peace. And ain't asked no questions. You worried about a second phone. And it was funny because that phone was somewhere on the other side of the daggone field, hidden until Melody pulled off. Ain't nobody know nothing about no second phone until after Melody pulled off. Then all of a sudden it was, can you go get my other phone? Martell, what I hope that Melody saw all of this stuff before the season aired. Because we see them all over the place having a good time. But I hope she already knew all this was going on. Because, honey, I really hate that she would have found out, like, recently. Like, when they started showing them the rough cuts and all that. Like, honey. Anyway, this thing ran real long. Y'all can see I like this show. I like to talk. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.